What's up? Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and you are in the right spot. This is where we discuss real life, real problems with real people. You're going to get unstuck. Now, while you're at it, make sure you subscribe and share this with a loved one. Let's get ready to get unstuck. Drew, I want to start a podcast, but I don't know where to start. You're in the right place today. Welcome to the Unstuck Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Koss, and today we're going to give you some information on how you can start a podcast, but today's going to be especially, if I can talk. Today's going to be based on an audio podcast, and we'll break that down. As you're coming in, as you're getting ready to learn about this subject, I want you to do me a favor. Go subscribe to this channel so that we can keep helping more people have a message of getting unstuck in life. And when you're unstuck in life, you do better in life. And shout outs to our sponsors, Make Content Simple, a content community online where you can ask questions, you can give feedback, you can support, you can be challenged, and more. So let's dive in. Now, the first thing is I always ask is, why do you want to create a podcast? That is usually the first question. Depending on who you're asking, you're going to get a lot of answers. The most common answers are, everyone says I should. That can be cool, but I would say let's dig a little bit deeper, because everyone who's saying that might just be saying that, but they don't realize you have to actually do the work for the podcast. The second one is, I usually hear this one is, I have a lot to say. You probably don't realize how much you have to say versus how much of that looks a little bit different when it comes to like recording a video or just audio in our case today. And then thirdly, most people want to do it to be an extension of their marketing tool for their business. Whatever your reason is your reason. So I never try to fight people on their reason. I just try to give them some additional reasons so that they have a bigger foundation when they start. Now, I started my podcast off just audio, and my reason was probably similar to what I'm doing right now. I wanted to record a lot in the morning. That's when the house is the quietest. I record at my house, and I feel a deeper connection for audio. I listen to audio way more than I do video. And thirdly, I knew there's less barriers to getting it done. If I gotta get beautified, if that's a word, if all those things have to happen for me to record, it does put a barrier up, right? And if you live with people doing all that setup and stuff like that, and then someone comes and changes it or ruins it, it could be catastrophic. So let's talk about an audio one. An audio podcast is literally what you're hearing right now. It's me. I'm talking through a mic right now, and I'm talking through what's called a Zoom recorder. Now, when I first started, I did it with just my mic and my phone. I have a $40 mic that I got for Valentine's Day from my wife, and I did it right into my phone. So you can do it with your phone. You can even do it without a mic. The mic sounds better, especially for more clarity and things like that, but you can do it without a mic. Don't be discouraged by that. So I started mine off that way, and then I did a lot of video, and I'll probably do some more video in the future, but I just love audio more because of what it does. Now, how do I start this, Drew? First thing I would say is think about what's your topic or topics that you want to be covering. What are you going to be known for? My thing is, I want to be known for getting people unstuck, taking a complex issue, situation, and making it simple so that you can go and take action. Yours might be relationships. Yours might be not just relationships. Yours may be relationships for Black men or relationships for white women. It could be whatever you want. Now, I will say, when it comes to podcasting, sometimes niching can be better, because if you're niching and it's a niche that people aren't really like talking about a lot or tapping into a lot, it could be good. So I would say play around with it. But let's think about a topic that you want for your podcast. You can think about a name. Yes. Remember, you can always change the name when you need to, right? Mine used to be called 4 things. It was The Man Cave, Healing Kings. I think it was the Drew Cost show at one time. And then now it's the Unstuck podcast. It might stay the Unstuck podcast for a while, right? That's cool. Do me a favor, make sure you go subscribe so that you can actually be a subscriber to the Unstuck podcast. So name for topic, name, and then now you want to think of your structure. Do you want to do interviews? Do you want to do just solo episodes? A mixture of both? Do you want to have a co-host? And those formats can be intertwined throughout your episodes and throughout your seasons. But think about it ahead of time, right? I would love to have a co-host, but most people I know are not waking up at 4 a.m. to record. And I love being up in the morning. So I don't have a co-host right now. At night, it's way too tough because my daughter is going wild, bonkers. Think about your format. Do I want to do solo? Yes, where I interview people. I can do a co-host, things of that nature. And you can play around with that. So I wouldn't stay stuck with that. And if you're writing all this down, you can do all of this brainstorming in about a half an hour. And then fourth, I say this now. I honestly would say if you can, and this is not me just pitching you me, but hire someone to work with in the beginning. Because they're going to help you overcome a lot of barriers and roadblocks that you don't know exist. And they don't really show themselves a lot until you get into it. Like there's times where I've recorded and my mics weren't plugged in. So there's no sound. There's times I've recorded and I didn't press record on the camera. So there was no video. Or there was times where I was recording and in the middle of the recording, I realized that my SD card was full. So they can help you around barriers like that, but they can also help you around barriers around what equipment do you really need right now and what can wait. I took a course years back, and by the end of the episode, the person had literally calculated that we needed about $4,000 worth of equipment. I cannot tell you how overwhelming that was and I had already been podcasting. I had went to go get deeper knowledge. How overwhelming that was to do that, for people to do that, and then how overwhelming it was to actually start the podcast. It was way too much. So a good coach will help you realize, what do I need? What don't I need? What can wait? I have a good coach. And then we coach. We do individual coaching. We do group coaching. Go.drewcost.com. You can get all of that individual or group coaching when it comes to podcasting. After you have those things figured out, I'm going to say, think about your consistency that you want to establish. And this can be one that gets overlooked. Maybe I want to do once a week. Maybe I want to do 3 times a week. It's up to you. But I'm going to always say schedule in times where you do not have to record maybe for a season. That does not mean you don't have episodes going out. It just means you don't have to actually record every week. So I've done something where I would take 2 months off from recording. But leading into that, I would shoot extra episodes per week so that I knew I'm going to have 2 months off from recording and give myself a break to refresh, rejuvenate, and be okay. So you want to think about that as well. And then lastly, there's tons of things I can say, but I want to just say, start recording. Start getting used to talking into a mic. If you're using a mic, start getting used to talking, period, when no one's talking back. That is totally different than just speaking to somebody else. So when you're talking by yourself, you may be like, I just went on for 15 minutes and it might be 90 seconds. So you want to think, I need to go ahead and press record, and then I need to think, where am I going to find a groove at? Am I going to be someone who does 5 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour? You'll always hear me say this. One of my favorite podcast episodes or shows is from Justin Sewer. His episodes are from 1 minute to about 5 minutes, and they're packed with power. They're great. They're really, really good. with all of that being said, you can always make changes as you go. As you grow, you may find out, I do want to interview guests more. Now, I'm telling you that I believe it's easier having an audio podcast for the reasons that I named. You don't have to worry about getting up to get all pretty. You can do it pretty much anywhere, anytime. A lot of your ideas probably won't come when you're sitting at a studio. They may come in the bathroom, they may come in the shower, on the walk. And if you got your phone in you, you can shoot it right there. Or if you have a mic handy, you can plug in and just go ahead and shoot that episode right then. For the algorithm's sake, most people aren't subscribed to like 100 podcast episodes or shows. So when you upload yours and they open up their where they see their podcast at, they're seeing a few, not like Instagram or social media where they're seeing like maybe a few hundred or thousands of people. They're seeing those few shows that they follow, and they follow the show because they're subscribed to it for some reason. So the algorithm, number 3, it's easy to just put those links inside of like an email or a newsletter and things like that. And honestly, I'm way more quicker to listen. That is not good English, Drew. It's quicker for me to listen to an episode than it is to watch one. Because when I watch one, I have to make sure I'm in a place where it's quiet or I have headphones and all that stuff. Listening, I can listen to some while I'm watching, while I'm working out, taking a walk, doing errands and things like that. Yes, we do teach people how to do video also. I just believe an audio is a less barrier of entry, and I believe you can get at me later. There's a deeper connection with audio. So let me know. Are you ready to start a podcast? You've been thinking about it. Let us know. Go to go.drewcost.com and you can find something that works for you. If it's individual, if it's group, if it's a 30-day course program, or it's a 5-day program. We do both to help people where they're at and where they want to go. Be great, guys. I'm out of here. I cannot say thank you enough for listening to this episode. Do me a favor, subscribe and share it with a friend. Okay. Help us help more people as we share a message of getting unstuck with real life problems with real people solving them. Be great.